Hello everyone and welcome to this farming guide for white items in Diablo 3. Now you might wonder, why do you want white items since they are the weakest ones? Well, the new crafting recipes for legendary items all require a base white weapon or base white armor piece. So you will need one of these every time you want to craft one of your legendary set pieces, legendary weapons, legendary reps, whatever. And there are a few locations where you can farm these white items fairly well, and they are both in Act 5, and it doesn't really matter which difficulty you're doing this on and which game mode, so campaign or adventure. I'm choosing adventure just because, and I'm doing it on normal difficulty because the enemies are easiest. You should unequip all items that give you increased magic find, because the higher your magic find, the greater the chance of getting enchanted or rare or maybe even legendary items instead of the white ones. And you obviously do want the white items. Now, depending on if you want weapons or armor, you want to go to different places. For armor, the best place in game easily is the Battlefields of Eternity. I will not show a complete run, but the Battlefields of Eternity have tons of these decaying armor interactive objects. And these drop white items a lot. I also forgot to mention, if you have a puzzle ring, unequip it, because the goblin who spawns from the puzzle ring will pick up white items. The grey items are worthless, you do not need these. Like you can salvage them, of course, but they are not the ones that will give that are needed for the recipes. And this is of course why I'm playing on this difficulty. I can pretty much ignore the enemies. Okay, here's another one. They really are very common. I will link to a post someone made where he basically lists which white items are the ones you need. And so all you want to do is just run through here and click on all the armor, decaying armor objects that you can find. Obviously it's kind of based on luck how many you find. They are very common here, usually. So really just run through and find them. Here's another one. This contained a blue one. Ooh, hello detectors. I've actually been looking for that plant for a while, so yay for me! So yeah, for the armor pieces, go to the Battlefields of Eternity. It's obviously luck-based how many of these you find, but I've actually had a fairly bad run this time around, so just make your rounds, you will find a lot of these armor racks, and if you don't have much magic find, chances are most of them will contain white items. And you only want the base white items, like the Ascended Gauntlets. The cracked ones, salvaging of course, which is why I took this, but they cannot be used in the recipes. And the same goes for anything that's blue or yellow or even, well, whatever rarity, it has to be white. So now let's switch to weapon farming, which probably might be more interesting to some of you. The best place I found for weapon farming is actually the ruins of Corvus. I know there are also locations in the Pandemonium Fortress which have a lot of weapon racks, but I just prefer this place. I don't really like the tile set that much, but what you can find here, I'll just show you one or two. And once again, I recommend doing this run on the lowest difficulty, where you can pretty much one-hit enemies, simply because you're not farming enemies for drops, and it's a lot faster and safer. If you're on a higher difficulty, you might get in trouble if you just run past enemies and such, so... let's see, I hope I can actually find a few to show you. For weapons, there's actually multiple options, so I'll get into those. As I said, Pandemonium Fortress, but I never found that many of them there. Okay, so here we have the weapon racks. For example, this is the wand, which is needed to craft the legendary wands. Let's see if I can find another one. And they can be a little tough to spot at times, so you might miss some at first, but you'll get the hang of it eventually. Like, you will realize how they look, and then you will be fine. Okay, let's just go for a second one. I've probably missed some already, but... Woohoo, Paragon Level. Here's another one. When you're doing this run, I recommend only killing boss groups, really, or if you're trying to loot and the enemies are annoying. But otherwise, only kill the champion and elite mobs for possible legendaries. Because even on normal difficulty, as long as you're level 70, the legendaries that can drop are just as good. You can... yeah, you cannot find the class-specific sets on normal, but you can find pretty much everything else, and it has a decent quality. Anyway, the Kingslayer, I believe, is also needed. Once again, I will probably have linked to a list in the description, because not every white item is needed. Now, the second location, which I found really good for farming weapons, is the Keep... No, not the Keep Depth, sorry. It's Act 1, actually. It's the Halls of Agony. Once again, I might get unlucky and not find as many, but the Halls of Agony have these torture tools, weapon stands, basically. And they also have a very good chance of dropping white items. Especially without Magic Find, you're pretty much guaranteed your white items. There's still a chance, as you have seen, of getting better ones, but especially without Magic Find, it's quite low. So... I'm just trying to actually find some. As I said, it's always a question of luck whether you find them. And it's also, of course, a question of luck whether you find the correct one, because chances are you're farming for a specific one, and you might just get unlucky and not find them in a while. As far as I know, however, there's no way of influencing which white item you get. I think the chances are the same at every location, and I'll just try to actually find one of them. Well, we just dropped some brown ones, but that's pointless. Not brown, grey. And once again, very bad luck. So yeah, it's sadly entirely luck-based whether or not you find the things you need. But I'm just gonna try and actually find one. And I'll actually cut until I have. Okay, just to prove to you they actually exist, torture tools. And they drop white items, mostly. So, that's what you want to farm. Here's another one. This is much more like it. They are not as rare as it seems to you right now. They're actually fairly common. And you can go through and do the Halls of Agony level 2 as well. They also contain them. And then you can, if you feel like it, you can do the entire run until actually killing the Butcher. Because torture tools are pretty much everywhere until the boss. So, and then you can kill the boss as well if you like for possible loot. So yeah, that is basically everything. If you have a better route or a better location for farming these, please let me know in the comment section below, and if this helped you out, feel free to leave a like. Bye bye!